Hello everybody, welcome to a new video of J Speed Shop. So today we have a very nice G63 AMG. So this particular car is for sale at Henk Groot and you see it on the top. Have a look on their website if you want more information about this particular car that's for sale. If you're new to my channel, have a look on jspeedshop.com, that's over here. Today we're going to drive this very nice G63 and I'm going to show you all the bits that's belongs to this nice car and very popular model. This is like the G-klasse is sold out, so there's an order stop from Mercedes at this moment because they cannot build the amount that people ask for. So this is the model that's built between 2013 and 2018. It's called the W463, built from 1990 till 2018, this particular model. So this is still on the old leather chassis. After 2018 you got a new chassis that's based, and it's meant to be, and it's also, people think it's driving much better. So I never drove a G-klasse, so this is my first one to drive. So let's have a look. So let's have a look around the car. So it's a nice car, this one. So this is a pretty special and full model. This is an 2013 G63 with a 5.5 liter bi-turbo engine, but it also has the Designo package inside and out. So it's very nice grey color. I will put the color code below, also the link to the website where all the chassis codes are on, like option codes and that sort of stuff. It's just, in real life, a G-klasse is, it feels small. To me it feels a little bit smaller than I would expect. But the color is really nice. So it's on, I think, 22-inch wheels, 275/50 of 20-inch wheels. These are the same, like performance pack wheels, look like the same. Very nice wheels. Side pipes on, of course, on both sides. Big brakes, 275mm in the front and 330 in the back. Yeah, it's just a massive car. You can see also the headers over here. Bi-turbo badging. Yeah, just a very nice car. So let's have a look inside. Everything feels pretty heavy. The doors feel heavy. Nice Designo, like a red interior. You'll also see it here. It's fully done in this option, so that's also pretty expensive. Very clean interior. Just looks very nice. All the luxury is in here, but still you have locking differentials, 3 in total, front, rear and the mid. The transfer case you can lock up. 722/9 transmission, 7-speed. Also shifting on the steering wheel, 3 modes. So I think this transmission is still with the torque converter, not with the multi-clutch. That's for most cars, came in 2010. If I'm wrong, put it down below the video, but I think it's still a torque converter. Harman Kardon sound system. This is also nice. I don't know why you need it, but the steering wheel is heated. I'm going to try that. Have a look if that is nice. Also you have these options to fill up the seat on the sides and that sort of stuff. You can pump it to your own needs. Alcantara headliner. Also multimedia system in the back, you can see here. The sound, I think that is still the best sounding door in the car, I think. Lights in the step in. just looks very good. So I have a look if I can sit here pretty good. Seat is a little bit backwards, but I can still sit here pretty good, as you can see. Yeah, it's pretty good seating position in here. Big trunk, multimedia, cup holders pretty big. Pretty back door. Very heavy. Not used to it. It's pretty heavy to open. So 480 liters of boot space like this. If you fold it down, I think it was 2250 or something. So in the earlier cars you also had some seats in here. This was more in the army versions, that sort of stuff. I think also in the version before this, or it's still an option, I'm not sure, you still have that. So looks pretty good. Coupling for a trailer, it's up to 3500 kilos or something. Just very nice. So let's have a look underneath the hood. So G63 5.5 liter bi-turbo M157 engine. So this is an 5.5 liter V8 bi-turbo engine producing 544 horsepower and around 800 newton meters. There are like a few different numbers you can find, also 760 newton meters or 800 newton meters. The thing I found was like 800 newton meters. The versions after, I think 2014 or 2015, they got 571 horsepower in this version. That's like the same as the performance back in an S-Class that had also 571 horsepower. But this car is still pretty fast for weighing 2450 kilos, 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. So that's still pretty impressive. The thing has to be said that this engine is not without any problems. You can have some issues with it. It's mostly the versions before this building year, like 2011, 2012. You have like engine problems like that. The biggest thing that people know is like timing chain problems. Then you have stretched chains, and it needs to be, yeah, you need to sort it out. The engine can run completely into pieces if you not do the right maintenance, but we talk more about it when I'm driving. But for the rest, it's very packed in here, so it's not a nice job to get a wrench on this car. But also it's nice to see, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look, the engine is a little bit tipped over like this. That was also with the version before this one, like the compressor version and the normal 500 version with the M113 engines in it. Then it was more visible. It was more, the engine was really like this. I think it has to do with the steering box or anything underneath, or with the axle or differential, something with it. It should do something with it, I think. So I think we should do a test drive in this beauty. So, let's have a drive in this G63. So, a little bit upwards, I think. So first time driving in a G-Class. How good would it be? I think the sound is pretty good. I will open the window on the side, the microphone. We have side pipes over there. Whew. Hear it. The sound is pretty awesome, I think. So We have everything, yes. Small transmission lever, just like in the yeah, what was the first one that was in it? It was, I think, the SLS. Later on all the cars. So we have adjusting comfort. You're starting from second gear. Yeah, that's it. I have the multimedia and everything off because, yeah, I don't want any issues with. So copyrights and that sort of stuff. So that's pretty high. Yeah, normally it's just different than everything. If you see this car also, but it feels smaller than you imagine it is. If you compare it to an ML, it's just much different. It's just the weirdest thing I think of a G-Class is that the straight flat window in front of you. That's just, yeah, it's just different. For the rest, the sound is very good. Yeah, it sounds very good. So it's on air suspension. It's still like a terrain car, pretty good for it. There are enough videos you can see it is still a pretty good terrain car. Still have locking differentials and everything. So also a lower range, so you can have a 2-speed. So you can also have it lower range for if you're really in the terrain. I'm not an expert in it at all, so don't ask me about explaining how that everything works. In a terrain drive, I never did it. So, and I think 90% of the people, maybe even more, people who buy these particular cars will never hit the terrain. Yeah, maybe with 2 wheels on the side of the road, but that's everything. Because it's really a very popular car. Like G63, it's like I mentioned, the last generation of the G-Class is just sold out, so you cannot order it anymore. There's an order stop. I wrote it yesterday or something about it, that Mercedes had an order stop on the G-Wagon. So these G-Wagons are still very popular. This is still the old chassis, but yeah, if you do it for normal driving, you can feel it also. You can feel a lot of road imperfections. Yeah, I think it's the character of the car. It's not something that I dislike or something. It's still a comfortable car, but the cabin is, if you see the space where you sit, it's still small. It's really, yeah. I think I get the point that people buy these cars because they are just, yeah, they are nice to see. It's just different, very different. But you have to imagine that it's on the market since 1979, and it was introduced like an army vehicle, and then it was popular enough to get it also for the normal public. It's also called the Gelandewagen. There is the G for, and G-Wagon, Gelandewagen. That's where it's meant to be for. So in the earliest version you had the W460. The W460 was going out of production in 1991. Then you got a more approved version like this one, for you got luxury interior and that sort of stuff. There's a W463, and they also produced the 461, and that was still like an army vehicle and special delivery. So it was still also with 24 volts. This is 12 volt system. So that's in the outer lines of explaining the versions. But there are so much versions of these particular cars. It's not, you cannot fit it in one video. So, but this particular model G63 is fitted with a 722.9 7-speed transmission. This is a 213 car. In 2010 the multi-clutch came, but I think there still is a torque converter. I looked in the past, I cannot really find a multi-clutch, so I think it's still a torque converter. You also don't have the Comfort, Sport Plus and manual and race style. You don't have it in this car. It's still Comfort, Sport and manual. In Comfort the shifting is just earlier and more comfort. In Sport mode you got faster shifting and so on. In manual you got even more faster shifting. So if I put it like in shifts pretty nice. It's now in manual, so you have to. I don't think there is any sound flaps in this particular car. There's still a little delay in shifting, and not the same as a double clutch. But yeah, it's much better than the M113 models. They were really the 722.6 with the original Mercedes TCU is really bad. I think you can better leave it in auto mode. That's the best thing. So engine wise, M157, you can find a lot of nightmare stories about these engines, and a part of that is true. I know from this car, this engine has done 55,000 kilometers or 57,000 kilometers. The timing chain is changed and the tensioner and everything else. So this car is up to date with the latest spec. The earlier versions like the 2011 and 2012, so that is like, you say before this model, but I think you can have a late engine from 2012 and a 2013 car. It is a possibility, of course. There were issues with the timing chains in the top. The stories are pretty weird. If you see, the oil drains in the heads was not good, and then you got not enough pressure on the tensioner. I think that's weird, because then you should pump all the oil in the head, and then you don't have oil pressure on the tensioner anymore. But what the real story is, there were problems with the tensioner. Then you got a little bit slack in the chain, and when you started it, you can stretch the chain, and then the problems start from there. But this engine is based on the M278. Before that you have the M273, and those engines had already had problems with timing chains and that sort of stuff, and balancers and that sort of things. A lot of things has been updated, but if you buy a car like this, always have a look in the papers if certain things are changed, if it's a changed engine, if there are is the maintenance done correctly, like oil changes. There are also a lot of stories about that these engines use oil. There are more issues to tell also about injections and that sort of stuff. If you buy a car like this, look in the history of a car and make sure it's not an oil boat, or it's not making noises from stretched chains and that sort of stuff, because it's really expensive to do maintenance on these cars, and these cars are already pretty pricey. I think like this model in this price category, it depends on the kilometers, but like this model range with this engine, they go for like 60 to 160,000 euros. It depends on how much kilometer and the condition. I think this car is around 105,000 euros second hand, and yeah, this car looks like new, and it's in a Designo package, so it's a very nice car to see. So fuel economy is something that you should not talk about. This, I think this car does like 1 liter fuel on 5 kilometers easy. So there's a 96 liter fuel tank in it. So let's say you can do like, if you do good, you can do like 500 kilometers on the tank. So yeah, if you buy a car like 100,000 euros for a second-hand car, you will have the money to do that, I think. So but yeah, it's still what I think is most impressive about this car. It is so big, and it's so not aerodynamic, and so not made for speed. It still accelerates very, very good. It's a very easy driving car still. It's very easy to drive. It weighs 2,450 kilos. If you feel the weight of the back door, I think it weighs easy 60 kilos or something. Okay, there's a tire on it, I know, but yeah, I think it's pretty impressive. So this car should do about 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. We should have a look how good that will go. First we're going to do a sound check, then do an acceleration test, 5.4 seconds. Wet is a little bit wet, we have a look how good this car can do it. Top speed is limited at 210 kilometers an hour, and I really get it. So let's have a look. So, driving the G-Class, I think sound is just awesome in this car. It's just incredible, I think. It's just, yeah, it's awesome. I think this really suits, this is one of the cars that really suits it to have this kind of noise. I think it's very good. If you put it in like S mode, it's not really, it's a little bit faster, but still in comfort. It's still a nice driving experience. If you have it in S mode, it will keep the gears a little bit longer. Seating position is pretty good. It is not like a PlayStation, and what I mean about that is you need to know what you're doing. If you're not familiar with a little bit more power than like in a Fiat 500, then this car can really surprise you, I think, because you can feel that it is like an old type of chassis. You need to correct the car more than once if you step on the gas, and that's what you read more about these old type G-classes with a really immense amount of power, that they are not really meant to be to step on that tail. Like, but they are impressively fast. Bit shaking, you can feel what kind of tires this car is there. But yeah, that was like I don't know, pretty fast. So we're going to do an acceleration test in this car. I should do 5.4 seconds 0 to 100. I don't think we will get it because it's wet and this car is not on the perfect tires, perfect condition. So let's have a look how good it will do. I'm going to put the car in S mode, and we should see how good this will go. You see oil temperature, cooler water temperature is both good on temp. Okay, you can see if I change it, now it's manual, you can see it over here. Now it's in comfort, put it in S, so 8 degrees outside, so let's have a go. Acceleration is nice, braking is not really. It feels like you have to get a tank to a stop. So yeah, acceleration, I think it's really impressive for a big car like this. It's just mental. So yeah, really good. If it was 6 seconds, I think it's still good, because it's so impressive in a big car like this. It's just acceleration went pretty good, pretty impressive. Car's not really made for it. It's just like, if I drive this car, it's really like more a toy or something. If you're not buying it for the 3,500 kilos you can tow behind it, or for the space, or for your family, or anything else. I think the combination of it is pretty good, because yeah, cars that are higher for the road, it's nice to drive. You can see everything, and speed bumps, everything is no problem. Yeah. So should I buy it if I had the money? Yeah, for sure. I think it's pretty cool. You should have it. Yeah, I think it is. If money is not plays any role, you should buy it. I think, because it uses a lot of fuel and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it drives good. It's comfortable. It has a very big fun factor. It's the car that you should have to drive long trips on the highway. Yeah, I don't think you should have this then. I think you better buy an S-Class. But this is for the daily driving. It's just, yeah, it's really fun. You can just put all your stuff in it and loads of things. It sounds very good. It's just a big piece of fun, I think. Yeah, I think it should be a very good buy, I think. And they are very good for value, because prices stay high. And I think if you look now, if there's still a waiting list for people to buy a new G-Class, they will look to the versions before that. And yeah, this is the first G63 before the newer 4-liter V8. Yeah, these cars were new. I think this car was new, 217,000 euros without any options. So I think this car, I think it will be an easy 250,000 euros in the Netherlands with these options. Maybe a Designo package, I don't know how expensive it is, but yeah, it's an expensive car, and it's still worth 105,000 euros, and they still go for prices around that number, and they just look good. And this car is complete, there's no damage, it has its maintenance. So if you're interested in this particular car, have a look below the video. Have a look on henkgroten.nl. This car is for sale there. You can also find a link to speedchat.com. That's over here. The link is also below the video. Have a look at my website. All the information is on there. Also a link to where this car is for sale. It's just a big piece of fun, I think. And it's very good looking. The color specs are good. For me, I like it. Yeah, good family car. And if you want a lot of fun, you have the money, you should buy just one, I think. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Hope you like this video. Put a thumbs up underneath the video. It's very good for the algorithm. And hope you liked it. See you for the next one. Bye bye. I'm going to have a very big smile now for a few minutes. I still have left in this car. So see you.